Get ready, car enthusiasts, because Chevrolet just pulled a wild card that's set to shake up the automotive world. The legendary Bel Air is back, and it's making one of the boldest comebacks we've ever seen. The 2025 Chevrolet Bel Air isn't just a blast from the past, it's a full-throttle fusion of retro charm and modern innovation that has everyone talking. But here's the burning question: is this new Bel Air a true resurrection of an American icon, or just a flashy cash grab banking on nostalgia? Strap in, because we're about to dive deep into why this ride might leave you absolutely speechless, for better or worse. The revival of a classic icon, the Chevrolet Bel Air is making a daring comeback in 2025. And let's just say, it's turning heads for all the right and wrong reasons. This isn't just another car relaunch, it's Chevy attempting to revive one of its most iconic models from the golden age of American automotive history. But is this revival a sign of innovation, or is Chevrolet just milking nostalgia for all it's worth? Let's rewind for a second. The original Bel Air was the epitome of the American dream on wheels, with its flashy chrome, sweeping tail fins, and a design that screamed opulence and freedom. This was a car that represented more than just a mode of transport. It was a symbol of status, a rolling piece of art. But fast forward to the present day, and Chevy's challenge is clear. Can they capture that same magic in an era dominated by electric vehicles, SUVs, and cutthroat competition? Chevrolet claims they've done the impossible by blending classic design cues with modern technology and performance. But honestly, are they just riding the coattails of a legendary nameplate? The real question on everyone's mind is whether this new Bel Air is genuinely bringing something fresh to the table, or just another example of automakers cashing in on retro vibes. Masterpiece or marketing ploy? Let's talk about the exterior, because that's what everyone's gawking at first. The 2025 Bel Air is undeniably a head-turner, with a body that seems to straddle the line between classic retro and modern sleek. Chevy's design team clearly went all out to evoke the spirit of the 1950s, while still throwing in enough modern touches to make it relevant for today's market. Think bold front grills, sweeping chrome accents, and those drool-worthy curves. But here's the kicker: does the exterior really deliver, or is it all smoke and mirrors? Some critics argue that Chevy's attempts to modernize a classic have led to a design identity crisis. They've thrown in LED headlights, fog lamps, and even roof-mounted antennas, trying to merge the best of both worlds. But does it actually work, or does it end up looking like a confused homage to a bygone era? But for all its controversial design choices, there's no denying that the Bel Air will make you look twice. The aerodynamic enhancements and sleek silhouette promise to reduce drag and boost fuel efficiency. That's all well and good, but let's be real. Like, are you really buying a Bel Air to save on gas, or are you buying it to make a statement? And speaking of statements, Chevy's color palette is anything but shy. With bold, vibrant options like royal blue and sunset red, they're clearly aiming to turn heads. But is that enough in a world where design trends shift faster than the seasons? Luxury meets technology, or just a tech overload? Step inside the new Bel Air and you're immediately greeted with an interior that's practically dripping in luxury. Or so they claim. The cabin boasts everything from plush leather seats to high-quality materials that scream opulence. Chevrolet is throwing around phrases like first-class comfort and premium experience. But let's not forget that this is a brand known for affordability, not exactly luxury. Are they reaching beyond their means here? And then there's the tech. Oh boy, there's a lot of it. The Bel Air's infotainment system is being touted as next generation, with features like a massive touchscreen interface, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and even a premium sound system that could probably wake up the whole neighborhood. Chevy's also packed it with advanced safety features, driver assistance systems, and voice-activated navigation that promises to make your drive as seamless as possible. But here's the thing: are these features genuinely enhancing the driving experience, or are they just fancy add-ons to justify a higher price tag? Critics argue that Chevy is overcompensating with tech to distract from the fact that, under the hood, this Bel Air might not be all that special. Think about it. Are you really buying a Bel Air to be coddled by tech, or are you looking for that raw, unfiltered driving experience that the originals were known for? Automotive journalist Samantha Lewis was less than impressed, stating, "The Bel Air's interior feels like a tech demo rather than a cohesive design. It's as if Chevrolet threw every gadget they could think of into the mix just to say they did. But where's the soul? The character? That's the big question, isn't it? Has Chevy sacrificed the spirit of the original Bel Air just to keep up with with the tech-savvy crowd? A muscle car in disguise or just a tease? Now, let's get to what really matters, the performance. Chevrolet has outfitted the 2025 Bel Air with 2 engine options, aiming to please both casual drivers and those who crave a bit more under the hood. The base model comes with a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine pushing out around 250 horsepower. If that's not enough for you, there's the 3.6-liter V6 option, delivering a respectable 335 horsepower. But let's be honest, in an era where muscle cars are pushing 600-700 horsepower, does this really cut it? Chevy wants you to believe that this new Bel Air is a beast on the road, but when you stack it up against the likes of the Dodge Charger or even the Ford Mustang, it starts to look a little tame. Sure, you get a smooth 10-speed automatic transmission, but where's the fire? The roar of a true muscle car. And don't even get us started on the lack of a manual transmission option. That's right, folks, you're stuck with an automatic. For the purists out there, that's practically sacrilege. The original Bel Air was all about that visceral, hands-on driving experience, and Chevy stripped that away in favor of a smoother, more sanitized ride. But here's the kicker, the Bel Air's fuel efficiency isn't too shabby. The 4-cylinder model boasts around 28 miles per gallon in the city and 34 on the highway, while the V6 offers a decent 22 miles per gallon city and 30 on the highway. But let's be real, if you're shelling out the big bucks for a Bel Air, are you really concerned about fuel efficiency? Can it compete in today's market? So, where does that leave us? The 2025 Chevrolet Bel Air is a bold attempt to revive a classic, but is it truly ready to take on the giants of today's automotive landscape? It's positioned as a premium sedan with a price tag to match, starting at around $30,000 and maxing out at $40,000 for the top tier trims. But here's the thing, in a market dominated by SUVs, electric vehicles, and performance-driven muscle cars, is there really room for a nostalgic sedan trying to play catch-up? The Mustang, Charger, and even the eco-friendly Toyota Camry are already staking their claims. Can the Bel Air carve out a niche, or will it end up as just another forgotten reboot in the annals of automotive history? Jane Peterson, an industry veteran, summed it up best. Chevy's Bel Air is trying to be everything to everyone. A nostalgic throwback, a luxury sedan, a performance car. But in trying to do it all, is it losing its identity? The stage is set, but is the 2025 Bel Air ready to play the game, or is it already out of its league? The technology overload, innovation, or gimmick? Let's dive deeper into the tech features of the 2025 Chevrolet Bel Air, because if there's one thing Chevy is banking on to sell this car, it's the tech. We're talking about an infotainment system that could rival your home entertainment setup. Chevy's bragging about their massive touchscreen, wireless smartphone integration, and a sound system that'll have your neighbors filing noise complaints. But let's be real here. Is this a genuine upgrade, or is Chevy just slapping a fancy screen on the dashboard to justify a premium price? Critics are divided. Some say Chevrolet is pushing the envelope, while others claim it's all smoke and mirrors. Take it from industry insider Mark Reynolds, who didn't hold back in his critique. The new Bel Air is like a Christmas tree. It's got all these flashy ornaments, but at the end of the day, it's just a regular tree. Chevy's trying to dress up a basic car with tech gimmicks, but where's the substance? That's a harsh take, but let's face it. In today's market, every car has a touchscreen. Every car has a decent sound system. Chevy needs to deliver something truly groundbreaking if they want to justify the Bel Air's price tag. And don't even get us started on the so-called smart features like lane keeping assist, adaptive cruise control, and automated parking. Useful? Maybe. Revolutionary? Hardly. But here's a question for you. Are we so starved for innovation that we're willing to accept tech overload as a substitute for real automotive excellence? Are buyers genuinely looking for a car that can practically drive itself, or do we just want a machine that brings back the joy of driving? The original Bel Air was all about the driving experience, so why is Chevy leaning so heavily on tech crutches? Performance, all bark, no bite. Now let's get under the hood, because that's where Chevy claims the real magic happens. The 2025 Bel Air comes with 2 engine choices, the 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder and the 3.6-liter V6. On paper, these engines look decent enough, with the 4-cylinder pushing out around 250 horsepower and the V6 delivering a respectable 335 horsepower. But the big question is, do these engines live up to the hype? The Bel Air is being marketed as a sedan, sedan with a sporty edge, but are we really getting the performance Chevy is promising? Critics are already tearing into the Bel Air's engine lineup, calling it underwhelming at best. Compared to the muscle cars and sports sedans in the same price range, the Bel Air's engines feel like a compromise. And let's be honest, if you're in the market for performance, why settle for a V6 when you can get a V8 in a Dodge Charger or a turbocharged beast in a Mustang? James Parker, an automotive expert, put it bluntly: Chevrolet is trying to convince us that the Bel Air is sporty, but it's really just a family sedan in a fancy costume. The V6 engine is fine for your daily commute, but if you're looking for a thrill ride, this isn't it. Chevy played it safe, and that's a shame because the original Bel Air was all about pushing boundaries. And don't forget about the lack of a manual transmission. That's right, the Bel Air is automatic only. For purists, that's like a slap in the face. The driving experience that made the Bel Air a legend is nowhere to be found in this new iteration. Instead, we get sport mode and paddle shifters that try to mimic a manual but fall short. Chevy is clearly trying to appeal to a broad audience, but in doing so, have they diluted what made the Bel Air special? And let's talk numbers. The 4-cylinder option boasts a respectable 28 miles per gallon in the city and 34 on the highway, while the V6 clocks in at 22 city and 30 highway. Those aren't bad figures, but let's be honest. If you're buying a Bel Air, are you really that concerned about fuel efficiency? Or are you looking for that punchy, head-turning performance that made the Bel Air a household name in the first place? The elephant in the room: price and competition. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: the price. The 2025 Bel Air is hitting showrooms with a starting price of around $30,000 for the base model. And if you're looking at the top tier trims with all the bells and whistles, you're looking at a price tag of close to $40,000. That's a bold move by Chevy, considering the Bel Air is stepping into a fiercely competitive market segment dominated by heavyweights like the Ford Mustang, Dodge Charger, and even the more conservative but reliable Toyota Camry. But here's the real kicker: is the Bel Air worth the price? Sure, it's got the retro appeal and the modern conveniences, but when you stack it up against the competition, it starts to look like an overpriced nostalgia trip. Ford's Mustang offers more power and a proven track record, while the Dodge Charger delivers that unapologetic muscle car experience that gearheads crave. And then there's the Camry, which might not be as flashy, but let's face it, it's a reliable, budget-friendly option with a hybrid model that blows the Bel Air out of the water in terms of fuel economy. And let's talk about resale value. Chevy is boasting about a projected 60% retention rate after 3 years. But with the stiff competition, will that actually hold up? The Mustang, Charger, and even the Camry have strong resale values backed by brand loyalty and proven performance. Can the Bel Air really keep up, or will it become just another model that fades into obscurity after a few years? Think about it. Are you really willing to drop $40,000 on a car that's banking on past glory? Or would you rather invest in something with a proven track record? The choice is yours, but one thing's for sure: Chevy's got a lot to prove if they want the Bel Air to be more than just a flash in the pan. So what's it gonna be? Are you ready to take a gamble on the 2025 Chevrolet Bel Air? Or are you leaning toward the tried and true competitors that have already proven their worth? This revival could either be a bold new chapter in Chevy's history, or a cautionary tale of what happens when automakers get too caught up in chasing past glories. Is Chevy overplaying the Bel Air's legacy? Is Chevrolet simply overplaying the nostalgia card with the 2025 Bel Air? Look, we get it. The original Bel Air was an icon, a symbol of American automotive history that captured the spirit of the 1950s. But is Chevy leaning too hard on past glory instead of creating something truly innovative? Let's be honest here, slapping a retro badge on a modern sedan and calling it a day feels like a cheap marketing ploy. Car enthusiasts are divided on this revival. Some argue that Chevy is trying to cash in on the emotional attachment fans have to the Bel Air nameplate, while others believe that this is a respectful homage to a classic. But let's hear it from a legend in the automotive industry, former Ford executive and automotive historian Robert Jenkins, who didn't mince words. Chevrolet's decision to bring back the Bel Air reeks of desperation. They're banking on nostalgia because they're running out of original ideas. The 2025 Bel Air is nothing but a Malibu with a fancy costume. It's disappointing, to say the least. That's a harsh critique, but is it fair? Chevy would have you believe that the 2025 Bel Air is a blend of heritage and modernity, but does it live up to that promise? The truth is, the competition isn't sleeping. The market is saturated with vehicles that offer both performance and style, without leaning on a legacy. Let's be real, do today's buyers even care about the history behind the Bel Air, or are they just looking for the best bang for their buck? After all, a car's name can only take it so far. At some point, the vehicle needs to stand on its own merits. But here's the question, is Chevy bringing anything new to the table with this Bel Air, or are they just rehashing old ideas to lure in sentimental buyers? Ford Mustang, Dodge Charger, and Toyota Camry. If you thought the Bel Air was gonna dominate the market uncontested, think again. Chevy's re-entry into the sedan market is facing stiff competition from every angle. On one end, you've got the raw power and aggressive styling of the Ford Mustang and Dodge Charger, and on the other, you've got the reliability and practicality of the Toyota Camry. Yes, you heard that right. The Camry, a car known for being boringly reliable, is now one of the biggest threats to the Bel Air. How did we get here? The Ford Mustang is a legend in its own right, and the 2024 model is an absolute beast with engine options that blow the Bel Air out of the water. With turbocharged 4-cylinder engines and V8 powerhouses that deliver up to 486 horsepower, the Mustang isn't here to play. Meanwhile, the Dodge Charger continues to dominate the muscle car scene with options like the Hellcat, which cranks out a jaw-dropping 797 horsepower. But let's not count out the Toyota Camry just yet. The 2025 Camry might not have the muscle, but it's a proven winner in the sedan category with its bulletproof reliability, impressive hybrid option, and tech-loaded interior. It's got everything the modern consumer wants: practicality, fuel efficiency, and comfort. And with a starting price that undercuts the Bel Air, it's no wonder buyers might be swayed to choose the safe option over Chevy's risky nostalgia play. So here's the real question. Is the Bel Air trying to be everything at once? A classic, a muscle car, a luxury sedan, and ending up as a watered-down version of them all? Can it truly compete in a market where every segment already has a well-established king? The risk of reviving a legend, let's not sugarcoat it. Reviving a legend like the Bel Air is a risky move, and Chevy knows it. The stakes are high, and the potential for backlash is real. They're not just bringing back a car, they're bringing back a legacy. And with that comes the weight of expectations, not just from car enthusiasts, but from an entire generation who grew up idolizing the original. But here's the catch: expectations can be a double-edged sword. There's already chatter in the industry that Chevrolet might have bitten off more than it can chew. Reviving the Bel Air means walking a tightrope between honoring the past and pushing into the future. If Chevy leans too far into nostalgia, they risk alienating younger buyers who don't have the same emotional connection to the brand. But if they go too modern, they risk disappointing the purists who wanted a true homage to the classic. And then there's the elephant in the room, the pricing strategy. Chevy's positioning the Bel Air as a premium offering in a crowded mid-size sedan market. But can they justify a price tag that stretches up to $40,000? For that kind of money, buyers could opt for an SUV with more space, a luxury sedan with more features, or even a fully loaded electric vehicle that's future-proof. Here's a spicy take from renowned auto analyst Linda Maxwell. Chevrolet is asking buyers to pay a premium for nostalgia. But let's be honest, in today's market, nostalgia doesn't pay the bills. The Bel Air is trying to straddle too many lines, and in the process, it's going to fall flat on its face. This isn't the 1950s. Buyers are smarter, savvier, and less sentimental. It doesn't help that Chevrolet is rolling out the Bel Air at a time when the market is shifting towards electric vehicles. With the likes of Tesla and Rivian redefining what a modern car can be, the Bel Air's traditional combustion engine feels like a step backward. There's also mounting pressure on automakers to meet stricter emissions regulations, and Chevy's decision to stick with gasoline engines might come back to bite them. Are we looking at a future classic, or just another relic destined for the scrapyard? Will Chevy's gamble pay off, or are they setting themselves up for a spectacular failure? A blend of comfort and compromise. Let's talk about what it's actually like to drive the 2025 Chevrolet Bel Air. Chevy is marketing this car as the perfect blend of comfort and performance, but does it really deliver on that promise? They've loaded it up with a bunch of driving modes, from eco-friendly settings to a so-called sport mode that's supposed to unleash the car's full potential. But here's the catch. Yeah, does it really change the game, or is it just another gimmick to make the Bel Air seem more versatile than it is? Chevy's engineers claim that the new adaptive suspension system provides a smoother ride, absorbing bumps like a luxury sedan while maintaining agility in corners. But according to early test drives, the truth is more complicated. The Bel Air is certainly comfortable, but when it comes to performance, it's no match for true sports sedans. In sport mode, the Bel Air feels more like a spruced up family sedan than a real performance car. Critics have pointed out that the steering feels light and there's noticeable body roll when you push it hard in corners. And let's not ignore the elephant in the room, the lack of an all-electric or hybrid option, with competitors like Ford and Dodge already exploring hybrid muscle cars, and Toyota pushing hybrid efficiency. Chevy's decision to stick with purely gasoline engines feels like a missed opportunity. In an age where automakers are going green, the Bel Air's old-school approach could make it look like a dinosaur among a field of sleek, eco-friendly competitors. But here's a question for you. Is the Bel Air's focus on comfort over performance really what buyers want? Or is Chevrolet out of touch with what today's drivers are looking for in a modern car? Can the Bel Air survive the EV onslaught? We can't ignore the shifting tides of the automotive industry. Electric vehicles are no longer a niche market, they're quickly becoming the norm. The pressure is on for traditional automakers to adapt, and yet Chevrolet's decision to bring back the Bel Air with standard combustion engines raises a lot of eyebrows. Are they banking too much on the nostalgia factor to carry them through in a market that's rapidly evolving towards sustainability? Chevrolet's rivals are already miles ahead in the EV race. Ford's Mustang Mach-E is a prime example of a classic name reimagined for the electric age, and it's been met with critical acclaim. Even Dodge is rumored to be working on a hybrid version of the Charger, blending muscle with efficiency. So why is Chevy stuck in the past with the Bel Air? Is this a sign of a company struggling to keep up with the times? Renowned industry analyst Karen Dalton had a blunt take. Chevrolet's refusal to innovate with an electric or hybrid Bel Air is a risky move, especially when everyone else is going green. They're doubling down on a shrinking market. In 5 years, the Bel Air could be seen as nothing more than a relic of a bygone era. That's a strong statement, but it's one that rings true for many experts. The market is moving fast, and nostalgia can only take you so far. If Chevy doesn't adapt, they risk turning the Bel Air into an automotive footnote, a car that couldn't keep up with the times. But here's the million-dollar question. Is there still a place for a gas-guzzling, retro-styled sedan in a world that's increasingly electric? Or is the Bel Air doomed to fail because Chevy bet on the wrong horse? Resale value and market reception, and let's not forget about one of the most important factors for car buyers, resale value. Chevy is touting the Bel Air as a great investment, with a projected 60% resale value after 3 years. But can it really compete with the likes of Ford, Dodge, and Toyota, all of which have strong resale values thanks to brand loyalty and proven reliability? The early signs are mixed. While some car enthusiasts are excited about the Bel Air's return, the general market reaction has been lukewarm. There's a sense that Chevy might be overestimating the demand for a retro-inspired sedan in a market that's shifting towards SUVs, crossovers, and electric vehicles. And let's be honest, how many people are really looking to drop $30,000 to $40,000 on a sedan that's trying to ride the coattails of a name that hasn't been relevant in decades? Take it from Jillian Moore, an automotive market strategist who weighed in on the Bel Air's prospects. Chevrolet is taking a gamble with the Bel Air. They're targeting a niche market, older buyers with a taste for nostalgia, and younger drivers who want something different. But in a world dominated by practicality and eco-conscious choices, they might find that there are fewer buyers willing to take the plunge. Nostalgia doesn't always translate to sales. And then there's the question of long-term reliability. Chevrolet's recent track record has been decent, but can the Bel Air stand up to years of daily driving without becoming a money pit? The competition has proven reliability, especially from brands like Toyota. Will the Bel Air be able to keep up, or will it end up being another classic case of style over substance? If Chevy wants the Bel Air to succeed, they'll need more than just a strong launch. They'll need to build consumer trust, deliver consistent quality, and perhaps most importantly, prove that the Bel Air isn't just a one-trick pony relying on its storied past. So there you have it, folks. The 2025 Chevrolet Bel Air, a car that's as controversial as it is intriguing. Chevy has taken a huge risk by bringing back a classic name in an era that's moving towards sustainability and innovation. Is it a bold new chapter for the Bel Air or a desperate attempt to cling to the past? Only time will tell. What do you think? Is the 2025 Bel Air the revival we've all been waiting for? Or is it just another marketing gimmick wrapped in nostalgia? We want to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let us know if the Bel Air deserves a spot in your garage, or if you'd rather put your money on something else.